good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. You know when we have those high infinite power, healing our people type conversations, and you know that we're going to continue that. As always, I'm your host, Jeff Hodges, and tonight, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm really, really excited about our segment tonight. You know we do hip-hop, you know we do empowerment, you know we talk about the lyrics and the contents, and you know how we talk about it's important for us as a people to grow and develop. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. My guest tonight, breast cancer survivor, a transition trainer, a motivational speaker, MC, spoken word artist, internationally known as the front woman for the nuts. Family, help me welcome to the show, Mama Soul. No doubt. Welcome to the show. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, Mama Soul.
Appreciate y'all.
It's definitely an honor and a pleasure. As I was telling you walking in, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Thanks.
One of my favorite joints is exercise. I mean,
okay.
I get up every day to that.
Yeah.
That gets me popping.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the energy, the light, the power of your voice, and how you speak truth to power is so eloquently done. And I know that you have empowered so many people as an artist. And one of the things that, we're going to start out with is talk about the story behind your name and while working at Timbuktu Academy of Technology and Science as a lead teacher and how that played a role in you obtaining that name.
Prior to even becoming a mother of my own son,
Right.
I taught at Timbuktu. And in African Center Education, all of the mamas and babas, the teachers are addressed as mama and baba instead of Mr. and Mrs. And so when I decided the world was my classroom and that I could reach more children without being in the confines of four walls, that my students cried when I couldn't.
Wow.
And so I promised them that I would keep that name for them because they gave me that name. And so I promised them that, they are who motivated me to step out and use my gift. And so I promised them I'd keep that name for them.
And it definitely holds true. You doing your thing. Now, I read the inspirations for words came from a Vin Rock of Naughty by Nature and how his witty style gave way to your comprehension, how people get lost in the beats and hill. When did you discover your voice?
My brother really, tuned me into lyrics.
Okay.
My older brother Malik, he would sit me down, and he was the one that did the Vin Rock Tretch comparison. Was like, yo, listen to the lyrics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not always the flyest cat is not the most, lyrical. And so I found my voice when I realized that I was healing people with a particular message. And so I started honing in on that message, as opposed to just needing to make something that made people have fun or they wanted to play in a club or, where you think you need to make the music, because that's where most of the music is heard. And so once I realized that music really does heal, and I got that from people coming up to me crying and telling me testimonials about things that happened, I said, this is my lane.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, what spoke volumes to me about your characters when you travel abroad, performing, and the experience you had over there in the refugee camps in Somalia, Monrovia, and Kenya. Talk about that, and what makes it really stand out to me is you went over there in the midst of the famine.
Yes.
And I mean, that there alone is gangster. Talk about
And I
that.
went alone. People were afraid.
I'm sure.
They're like, you might not never come back. And I'm like, I just really don't feel like my ancestors and the Most High are sending me to not return. I think I'm going here to bring something greater back than just myself. And so, going there, I saw the most severe suffering ever. But I was able to do some things that I know I couldn't have done unless I went, And I went to BBC World News and was interviewed, so I was able to, impact my own career, but also impact the lives of others. So just seeing that, I wrote Thankful while I was there. And then the first line of Thankful was, I'm thankful for the fact that I could turn on a tap and have fresh water because they didn't have water. It hadn't rained for 2 years in Somalia, and a lot of the people live off the land. And so when I returned home, and then to return home a few years later, it's a water crisis. It was like, wow,
How about
this
that?
is real,
And talk about that, because you did a piece regarding the Flint crisis. Talk about that.
I did. It was heartbreaking. It still is, because it's still really going on. Actually, you can adopt a family in Flint right now and get information on that as well, because 4,000 families need clean water. They need someone to supply. It really is elders. and families, you know, single mothers that have several children. They stopped the water supply. So while we were there, you know, we realized that the water was looking like iced tea.
Wow.
A little bit, trying to run, you know, bath water and what have not. You know, it was devastating. It was devastating. It really was. It really was.
So devastating.
Yeah, we could talk about that all night.
I know. That's a whole, you know what I mean? Indeed. So now, with the opportunity to travel abroad, it garners you the title ambassador for the United Nations. Talk about that and what that entails.
I actually turned down the ambassadorship.
Okay.
I was advised by an elder that worked for the United Nations when offered the position. Baba Dahir Barali, he told me, he said, you know, so when you become an ambassador for UNICEF or different organizations, it locks you into that. You know, he said, what if you want to provide food and you're locked into something that's providing shelter, or what if you want to do something for schools and you're locked into agriculture or something. You know, he said, you would be more impactful by creating your own organization.
We're going to get into that
for sure. And so that's what I'm birthing now.
And that would be the Life Foundation.
Bring Life Foundation, love, inspiration, food, and education. So now we have a big spectrum, right? So we can love, anything can be love.
Right.
Inspiration, food, education. So now we can offer up whatever we have to bring to the people.
Indeed. Now, internationally known as the front woman for the Nuts. How did the collaboration come about, and how long have you guys been together?
I actually have always wanted a band called The Nuts.
Okay.
Right? And so initially it was Niggas Under the Stairs.
Okay.
Right? And then as I grew, I realized that it was New Under the Sun. And I kind of like gave it a new energy as my energy shifted, right? We're not under the stairs. We above ground and well seen, and we are bright light. And so it's New Under the Sun. And so, you know, the brothers, they're still in Flint. I play with them when I go home. But I'm not even certain that chapter is not over.
Right.
I think it may be over, and I may be looking for new musicians at this point, you know. New Nuts.
Gotcha. There it is.
So,
you heard it first.
know, because I'm about expansion, man, and only me and my DJ moved, and they were moving, but they kind of backed out last minute, so I can't wait.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I love them. They like my brothers, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully I can inspire them to want more than Flint.
No doubt. I see you got the young Lord with you. Wasir, no doubt. Salute to the king, young model actor. I noticed that you're being followed by one of my favorite poets, Jessica Care Moore. And I had the opportunity to meet her and her son. And I got to tell you, meeting you and your son, the demeanor and everything, are y'all guys related?
No, just really good friends.
And
it
it eludes. I mean, it's just coming off like
really
some connection.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I'm from Flint. He was born in Detroit, actually.
Okay.
You know, Jessica's from Detroit.
Right.
Her and King.
Right.
And King's father is from Flint.
Okay, gotcha.
So, you know, his father is from Detroit.
Definitely
so
can see a connection.
Yeah.
The way you raise the kings and everything. It's amazing. Nah, that's what's up. Now, as an artist, you not so much as change up your style, but you continue to evolve with style. Your latest joint, Hours, proves that with the use of the organ, how you once again bang out with your lyrical skill set. Introduce that joint. Tell them a little about it. Introduce that joint, Hours.
Hours. I think you have to claim what's yours.
Okay.
You know, and this music thing, when I get on stage with my band, and it's ours. Like this stage, what we're doing right now, this is ours. I don't mean I'm not here to make friends. You know, I'm here to make change.
Indeed.
I ain't talking $1 for a quarter exchange. We tried to share, but they ain't prepared. Partners barging in on what they thought was theirs, but this here is ours.
Yeah, I heard it.
And that's it. You know, it's ours. It's ours.
Indeed. We about to play that for them right now. Check it out, y'all. Hours. We're going to take a quick commercial break. This is It's Bigger Than Hip Hop with my very special guest, Mama Soul. We'll be right back. It's my little man, Torian. As y'all know, I'm definitely an animal advocate. 7-year-old Torian got his own little show over there.
Okay.
He definitely joined us to let you know he can tell you about lemurs, anything off the top.
Really?
Y'all can check him out over there on iTunes. And even over here, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. We're in the building with my very special guest, Mama Soul. Yo, guys, let me tell you something. Y'all heard it right there. That joint went down. We talking about change. And you know we talking about the power of lyrics.
So speaking of lyrics, definitely want to get into the music. First of all, you are amazing, okay? Amazing. And one thing that I love most is that you are female. And the things that you are spitting are not just about female things. You're talking about everything. Now, do you find it hard or have you found it challenging to be a female rapper in this industry without compromising who you really are inside?
No.
No? That's great.
Because one thing that I don't want is that's not for sale is my soul. You know, I think me being a mother and someone's daughter and someone's sister and someone's student and someone's neighbor, you know, and someone's niece. And
Right.
the element of who I am as a person is who I am.
Right.
You know, and that's just something I can't compromise. I can't.
And I love you for that. I love that. You know why? Because when I listen to a lot of women music, I'm like, oh my God, you're a mother. Like down the line, your kid's gonna grow up and gonna hear that. So I love that. What, you love your mom's music? What do you think about it? Yeah. Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, and you're a big supporter of Mom. You're a big supporter of Mom.
I post it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, you guys.
Now, do you think of yourself more of an influencer or a role model?
I take either. You know, if you know, for children, I always tell them, you know, you're younger than me, so listen. You know, and then eventually we'll be able to see eye to eye.
Right.
If you listen, don't let me be your only teacher or influence. You know, listen to several people. And if I'm the model that you choose to kind of characterize some of your, you know, behaviors after, that's fine, and I'll take that responsibility. But I'm human.
Right.
You know, and so I'm very conscious of the moves I make because at the end of the day, I'm someone's mother. You know, so yes, I am a role model for some, and I do influence culture because I'm an artist,
Gotcha.
and I'm an honest artist, you know, and I'm a responsible artist.
And that's important right there. We talk about responsibility in the lyrics. One moment there was a time you took the music away from your performance, and I had the opportunity to sit down with MC Light, and we talked about removing that beat, you know, and checking out the lyrics.
Yeah.
Talk about, you know, what took place and why you did that.
My biggest influence at a point in my life was my brother Sweat. It was my god brother and my best friend, and he's who told me you got something. You know, so I wrote a spoken word piece for him, you know, and I would be in the studio with him, and he committed suicide. And we were really, I'm talking about, this was probably the closest person to me. And so he influenced me to rhyme. And so, you know, that experience in itself, I just didn't want the beat there anymore. I needed the words to resonate if I wrote. And so in that process, it was a healing process for me. Because it was also a period when I was healing from cancer. And he was one of the only people there at every surgery. And so it was a huge healing period for me, and I had started teaching as well during that healing process. So the children, and just the music was too much. And my words were enough for me at the time. And then the beat eventually came back. But at that time, I just didn't need a lot of distractions. I just needed to connect with words.
Now, you brought up reading breast cancer. Once again, amazing. That's an amazing story. How has that shaped you into the woman you are today?
Well, one thing that I beat breast cancer organically and holistically. I refuse chemo.
Oh, wow.
And so in taking that healing, they told me that if they gave me options. And they said if you take the tamoxifen and you know, you do any more of the radiation, there's a large chance that you won't be able to have children. There is nothing I desire more than to be someone's mother at some point in my life. I felt like it was a rite of passage to womanhood for me. And he's here.
Right.
So that healing process for me, I eat healthier, I live a healthier life. Part of that healing for me, I knew I had to remove everything that was toxic. and start replacing things into my life, even people, even music, even programming, television, whatever it was. As I started putting things back into my life, I realized how much I didn't need. And less is more for me now. I spend a lot of time alone. I don't need a lot of people. I don't need a lot of things. You know, I let go of a lot. And now I'm able to do that often. Like, we moved here in a car with whatever we could put in our car. He didn't even know we were going, you know, until that night. And so it's just less is more for me now when I don't cling.
Do you find that that makes you a better artist?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, because I'm not attached to an outcome anymore. You know, before you like get so rigid in wanting one outcome. You get a plan and this is what's going to happen, and then you miss all the beautiful things that happen along the way because you're only looking for this one thing. And it may come in different forms, you know. You don't know where the ancestors are sending messages, and because you're not in tune, because you're so attached to one outcome. So I just kind of move with spirit and allow that to guide my work at this point. So, you know, I just give thanks for the process and the path.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, you never really realize how much you don't need until not having it is your only option. You know?
Yeah.
So that's inspiring.
Life.
That's
You know,
inspiring.
That's what I wanted to live.
I know. That's inspiring.
Now, in relations to your song Manhood, how do you feel about the stigma set against black fathers?
Oh, man. I actually wrote a short film dealing with this that I'm working on now. The writing is done. I'm just looking for, you know, the right people with the cameras that can capture this through the right lens, right?
Right.
But statistics show that black men are the more responsible fathers amongst any nationality on the planet.
Right.
So I don't know any deadbeat fathers except my sons. So that's what made me write the song, is I would have these conversations with sisters, and they would drag our brothers through the mud. And I'm like, yo, I don't know any deadbeat fathers. Like, I really don't. And I think maybe it's you, because you are what you attract. When you attract, I can't hold a conversation with a deadbeat parent. We just not gonna rock together. You know, period. We're not on the same page. It's not an excuse you can give me why you're not present in your child's life. Unless you've been to court and you've battled and you've battled and you've battled, and this woman is giving you a hard time. Now I'm on your side. Like, what can we do? Because you really want your kid. But you know, I think our brothers get a bad rep. You know, like I said, I personally can't say I know a man that I can call up on the phone that's in my contacts, and I got several, that's not taking care of their kids.
Yeah. A whole nother show and topic, but parental alienation is definitely elusive, running rampant in our community. And it's just sad that after a relationship comes to an end, all of a sudden the man is no longer considered a man because your feelings is hurt at the end of the day. And now the child is the pawn and the family's broken. It's just madness, you know?
It's a lot of, you know, and I was telling a friend this today, actually. I know a lot of adults that aren't grown.
Exactly.
And, you know, because I choose my friends wisely and who I choose to have around my sons is why I don't rock with deadbeat parents. You can't make those excuses around him because I don't, you know, he's listening. And so I know there's parents out there that don't tend to their kids. You know, I do know that.
Right.
And some do disappear. And they think it's more, you know, the relationship or what. I don't know. I don't even know why his dad's not active. We don't shut him out or nothing. You know, the number hasn't changed in 20 years. So, you know, different people have different paths and they grow up at different times. Responsibility is the ability to respond.
How about that?
You know, if you're hungry, you're going to eat.
No doubt.
He's here, so you know.
Yo, you listening to It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. I'm over here cheesing y'all. I'm telling you, I'm just Mo. Y'all don't understand. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Give you that moment in hip hop. Shout out to Mocha Brown. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we back. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. Y'all know what it is. Salute to Mocha Brown. Thanks for that moment in hip hop. Right now in the building with me is my very special guest, internationally known for the front woman for the nuts, Mama Soul. Well, y'all better know it. Check her out. Y'all know it's good when we get them in the building. So check it out. As a spoken word artist, doing your thing, traveling, you know, getting your word out, what would you say you would sum your message up for the people? Because I know you're all about change, but if you could sum up your message.
And it's very difficult to sum up the message, because it changes.
It changes.
Overall, it's light work.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I'm a light worker. Whatever dark space we're in, I try to bring some light. And that's just, I don't like to stay in dark spaces myself. And so anytime I have to speak on a subject or whatever it is, it's going to be dependent on what I've been booked to come and do. If I'm at a detention center, it's going to be different than if I'm at a high school graduation or, So the message changes. I just want to be a vessel for my ancestors to come through and continue to inspire us as a whole.
Indeed.
Now, while you're traveling through the different schools, talking to the different young people, what do you find that is the biggest challenge that young people may have? Let's specifically talk about young girls, right? What is their biggest challenge when they come to you and they're so confused about what as a young girl?
I think young men and young women right now their largest struggle is love. Period. We meet a lot of these children that are so tough. Even the little girls, they so tough. I'm tough. But at the end of the day, I've been loved. So I understand it. But some of these young men have never been held. And, when you can penetrate a child with words and with just sincere love, that's what they're lacking. A lot of children, nobody's taking time with them. The internet is raising them. And so it's love on so many levels, A lot of it is self-love.
Yes.
Oh my.
They seek outside attention. Everything is about likes now.
Yeah.
And you don't even like yourself. And it's sad, because you meet kids and the more you talk to them, they break down.
Yeah.
They break all the way down. Like there's not a child I'm afraid of. I've been in places, where these children, they've been kicked out of every school, yada yada. Okay, let me talk to them. And it's love. It's love.
Now, you're here with your mom, right? You listen to mom's music all the time.
All the time.
So what's your biggest message that you get from mom's music?
My thing is like sometimes it's certain things in my life that I just don't want to do anymore. And she says if I don't like it, don't do it. People, random people, they just work jobs that they don't have any interest in. They're just doing it to make a living. If you do something, do something that you love, something that you don't, not just doing it. That's basically what message she really gives me.
And that's a gangster message.
Oh, we so mature.
Now you brought another one with you, passionate. Introduce that one for the people.
Passionate, man, that's actually a that song is about 10 years old. Passionate, I write time, I like to write timeless music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very passionate about my craft. And that's what that song is about. Kind of what Wasir was saying. Pursue your passion. Learn from it, grow from it, go from it. If you really listen to the words, it tells you the story in itself.
Right. Right.
And so I'm not complaining, Nah, my parents didn't stay committed to their marriage. I'm, all of that. Man, it is what it is, but I'm passionate. End of the day, I'm passionate. My passion is my profession, and I'm grateful for that. That's what passion is really about. It's about just being passionate about your work.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So we're going to play that from right now.
When you go about writing, what happens? Okay, here we go. Mirror style. As I reflect on my inner child, my outer shell is grown as hell. I'm talking my demeanor, my swag and all. They say I'm superstar bound, but I don't brag at all. I'm blessed to have breath, therefore I don't have step. I keep on rocking in socket style. I need a plug. My motion picture to enter your meter stub. Cause they gon' make you
What I'm told,
when they say who they love. Hit me with that fake smile like a Kool-Aid jug. Choose my circle like a cell phone commercial. I took too many losses, then it cost me make it personal. Cause now I'm more observant.
Boy, that's some hip hop. That's hip hop.
The happiness is happening, I'm happy.
might need to do something. I might need to see the.
You don't know nothing about that younger. You don't know nothing about this hip hop. You don't know nothing about this. You using that. Oh.
Approaches quite cleverly. It's quite heavenly. You can't compare my pedigree. I'm sure there's plenty more obstacles ahead of me, but I ain't tripping. I'll leave them. The complaints keep them. No, I ain't having any. I don't fancy carriage, and my parents didn't stay committed to their marriage. I ain't huffing. I ain't puffy. Ain't aborting transparents. I ain't pissed. I ain't
Please tell her to check where we can find her music at. And if it's on Google Play, I'm going out immediately.
I just think about the freedom fighters that fought this land clean before me so I could be free. You either greedy or you generous, lazy or you diligent. Me. I'm ain't worried about no cameras flashing. That's why they asking why I don't need no fame. No, all I need is passion. So imagine even being in my shoes. I don't know nothing. There's just one thing I'm gonna do, and that's be passionate.
10 seconds.
Y'all heard that. Straight lyrics. Hip hop is definitely officially in the building. Y'all heard it right here on It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. Mama So, tell them where they can get their music at.
It's available everywhere. I always send people to iTunes so they'll purchase it instead of stream it, but it's available on iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal. If you just Google Mama Soul, MAMASOL, you'll find whatever you need. I have 2 projects, Inside Out and Go Off. Yeah.
Now I know you get your inspiration more or less, dealing with our condition as a people, and I get that. But the flow in your formulation of your words, where is this coming from? You said, I'm lost. Okay.
I don't know. It depends on the music. Because a lot of times, the music that I actually record to is not what I wrote to.
Okay.
I find tracks just to be inspired by something, just to write, So I'll start writing, and then I have a song. I have so many songs that I want heard. The crazy part about it is, like, spoken word, I just take the beat away and change the cadence. But it's my songs. Like, I don't sit down and really write poetry unless someone hires me to write for a wedding or for a funeral or for a graduation, and I'll write something for them. And it comes with a cost because I probably won't say it again. So it's just, I don't, I can't pinpoint. It's something else. I don't know. But I give thanks for the gift.
Indeed.
And I give thanks to it. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but when I get married, you're doing poetry at my wedding, okay? Now, I want to tell you, I saw you mixed fashion and rap, and you did runway rap. Tell me a little bit about that.
I actually did the African World Festival in Detroit, and they wanted to do a fashion show at the same time. And so we kind of collaborated the two, and it was really, really fresh.
I liked it.
Because the music was inspiring, and imagine having a full band, right? 6-piece band, DJ, MC, everybody in African attire, and just beautiful black people.
I saw the videos, and that really was like...
And that was the finale, right? So imagine, right? So you had, you're introducing a designer, and they come through with their designs, and then you hear some live music behind it while they're walking, and then between the next designer, I'll start rhyming and might do a verse. It was really sweet. I think it was a great idea. Shout out to Piper Carter for coming up with that, Mama and Gia. So yeah, it was different.
Are you interested in fashion, maybe like fashion line, hair, jewelry, any of that?
I actually am a partner with a line. Me and 2 partners of mine have a line called Bedrock Apparel.
Okay.
Bedrock is about just having a solid foundation. Whenever you want to build a foundation, you have to dig down to the bedrock, and that's where you need to start building from. And we have a line called Bedrock Apparel. I used to write for FUBU.
I know.
Yeah, so, I've always been into fashion to the point that I have withdrawn from keeping up with fashion because I think people tell me, like, I like your style. And I'm like, didn't know I had one.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of get up and throw some stuff on and just layer. And he's into fashion more than me.
Uh-oh.
Like, he keeps me up on, like, Off-White. He just told me about this guy who now is working for Louis Vuitton and all. So he keeps up with a lot of the fashion trends. So we kind of work as a team as far as, you know, that type, the fashion stuff, right?
I keep you hip.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
In a sense, he does certain MCs and stuff. So yeah, I put him up on stuff too, right?
Sure. Exchange is equal.
Yeah.
Exchange ain't no robbery.
Right.
So talk about the artists that have influenced you and your career, and who would you like to work with?
I've been influenced by so much music. Music was just a part of my life.
Right.
You know, my parents played music in the house, records. You hear music all day. My mom was a choir director. She's still a choir director. Taught music at a school all her life. You know, so I was always around music. But as far as hip hop music, I was heavily influenced by Lauryn Hill. You know, Lauryn is an extremely dope person. You know, and a great mother. You know, and I say that in exercise. You know, shout out to Lauryn. You know, how critics confuse crazy with maturing. It's like Tiger Woods saying Kablasian was his origin. You know, but music influence, man, the Roots influence a band and really don't rock without my band. If I don't have a band, I'll have a djembe. Or, you know, or I'm going to do spoken word. I'm not going to rap with a CD and a DJ. I just don't do that. If I can't get live musical elements, I'm going to do spoken word, period. The Roots, Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, Anita Baker, you know, Michael Jackson.
Me.
You're part of my musical influence. But I'm influenced by new heads, you know. I listen to the new cats, little cat Ace Boogie with a hoodie. I like the little dude. You know, yeah, I like him. I love my son.
That's my
son.
Dude,
That's my
I
guy.
love
You know, yeah, I love my son. I don't think I love Tupac. My son puts me closest to Pac as I can get right now.
Exactly.
I love Dead Prez.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Sticking in One, our good friends of mine.
Okay.
You know, I've been influenced by so much music, man. I love Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I love T.I. You know, because I love to see people evolve and use that evolution as their platform for change. I love Jay-Z. I spoke on a panel at the African American Museum in Detroit, defending Jay-Z against some top scholars, you know. And Nas, I've been influenced by Bahamadia, Rage, Eve. You know, these were some of the top female MCs to me. Eve, Bahamadia, Rage, MC Light, Roxanne Shante. Me and him just watched the Roxanne.
I watched that on
Netflix. But you know, I paid attention.
Right.
You know, I've always paid attention to music, and I shout out to my brother Malik for hipping me to lyrics at a very young age. You know, and paying attention to the poetry. Maya Angelou is a huge influence for me.
Now,
Real quick, because you just led right into my question that was going to follow. How has poetry molded you as a young lady?
Poetry has always been like an instrument for me. You know, I can listen to these words and hear, you know, like,
Words is...
you go back to the Last Poets, right? Gil Scott-Heron. I just did a show with the Last Poets last week, right? And I was just so honored. Because a lot of people in hip-hop have no clue who the Last Poets are. And it's a young brother actually about to drop a project called LC in Detroit. And I was telling him, come out to the show. He had no idea who they were, right? And these poets, man, the way that they put things together, the revolution will not be televised. You know, niggas are scared of revolution. It was like, man, these words are powerful. You know, and then you heard that sound and that poetry evolve, right, into Public Enemy and X-Clans and that music. And then you watched media get hold of that and saw where this music was going. And then they said, oh, we got to change the message, right? And you watch that evolution of poetry. It has molded me in a major way to where I know I have to stay responsible.
Right.
Because I saw the evolution of hip-hop. I grew up with hip-hop,
Right.
you know, and I owe it to this generation
Right.
that didn't grow up when hip-hop was not on the radio and there wasn't no videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watch Crush Groove and, you know, you have to watch that stuff in my house. Like, you don't have a choice. But you got to understand the evolution of hip-hop to appreciate. And I think that's what's lacking a lot of times, is the appreciation for the craft. And I think if you study, that's why I'm glad that Netflix had that whole evolution piece. They missed some elements, but it was good. I watched it with my godson, who's 20. And, you know, he was like, wow, I didn't know, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you need to know where the scratch started at and all of that. You know, like the element of DJing, and you need to know, you know, that Cats was rapping for pizza and pop. You know, just like now, me and him looking at Michael Jordan, and he like, dang, Michael Jordan was only making like 13 million. I'm like, bruh, you know, one of the best players who play the game, one making a quarter of the money his Cats on the bench gives. You know, so you watch things evolve and watch the dollar overpower the craft. A lot of times, and so poetry has molded me to stay responsible to the art.
I don't know, Jeff. I'm over here speechless. I'm so in tune with everything you're talking about. It's like you're answering all of my questions in one.
It's bigger than hip hop.
Yes, like you're answering my questions, because my next question was going to be, what do you believe is lacking in the generation of hip hop now? But you just said it. The lack of knowledge and knowing your history and everything coming from that. Because even now, I'm really big on female rap. Like the names you were naming, I'm a really big Eve fan. I really like Queen Latifah, and I even like Roxanne Shante. I just watched that film on Netflix. So I'm really into the female rap, and I compare them to, like, now we have our Nicki Minaj's and our Cardi B's and stuff, and I see the difference, and even the content is different.
And he and I were talking about that yesterday, and he was like, yeah, Nicki Minaj was on this remix of some song we were talking about, and I was like, and I had to stop him and say, yo, Nicki Minaj can rap.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? I said, it's the content that makes me not go really listen to this music. I can't. Some things I just won't let penetrate me. You know, I protect every aspect of me. This is my home. Anybody can't come in my home. You know, and so I just told him just yesterday when we just talking about this, and I told him, like, what?
She likes Cardi B. Tell him your story about why you like Cardi B. Tell him your story about why you like Cardi B.
I do. She's funny to me.
Yes.
And I think she's genuine. I really do think she's genuine. I think that that's why my work is important, is because the responsibility side of it. Some people are not ready to be that responsible for so many young minds. So it's important that we have that balance, not to tear each other down, to build each other up. I can guarantee you, if Cardi B spends a day or two with me, her next album will sound a little bit different. I'm not saying it's going to be completely different, but I'm sure she don't have a lot of them big sister figures that have sat with her. You know, and really spent time with her outside of what she's used to. You know, and that's what helped save my life. I had people pull me aside. I sold dope. You know what I'm saying? I was raised with a bullet. All of that. You know what I'm saying? I was in them streets too. I wasn't a sheltered child. I saw the city. My father was in and out of prison my entire life. I was raised by hustlers. I chose this life because I saw the other side. Some of these people that are our leaders in culture have not seen the other side. So if we take them over there, then drop them back off in the hood, they're going to say, I want to come back over there sometime. Can I come back and listen? Indeed you can. You can move over here. You know, but it's still, when I say here, I'm talking about home. It's inside of you. It's not outside. We all can have this life. You know, it's available to all of us. That's why I titled my next project Black Flames.
When is it coming out?
Yeah, that title is later. Once I can get Tariq Ali back in the studio, him and Juice McGuire, if I can get him back in the studio, no. We should be done soon. I don't have a projected date yet because we're all very busy right now, but we're kind of wrapping it up.
I saw you do that joint with Mos Def. Y'all gonna come out with something?
No, that actually, when that surfaced, Man, we had did that like maybe 3 years prior to its surfacing.
Okay.
You know, I haven't seen Mos Def since that day.
Gotcha.
It's funny, you know. People ask me that all the time, like, "Why you ain't done nothing?" I'm like, "Man, I asked him for his number, email, everything. He wouldn't give me nothing." So it is what it is. You know, you are what you attract. I'm sure I'll see him again.
Indeed. Now you said that project is coming out. We can look for that. Give them those
Black
social media
Flames.
tags. The Black Flames will be out. Y'all be on the lookout. Give them those social media tags and let them know where they can follow you at.
I'm pretty much Mama Soul Music everywhere. Instagram, MAMASOL Music. Mama Soul Music. That's my YouTube channel. It's my Facebook fan page. It's my Instagram. And that's pretty much the only things I really operate with. MamaSoulMusic.com is my website. So it's really all Mama Soul Music. Yeah.
Now I have a question for you, Mr. Mature over there. So Mom is heavily into music, and scrolling down her Instagram, man, you are in almost every video. I saw you guys did the I don't know, maybe mispronounced it, Belu challenge, the challenge on Instagram, and he was in
the Bob Low
Yes,
challenge.
the Bob Low
Yep.
challenge.
Oh, the one with
We do so many.
I know, that's why I said he's in every
In the
video.
living room,
Yeah.
night, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what about you, man? You think you want to pursue rap, or what do you think?
Nah, I'm more of an actor.
Uh-oh.
Basketball player. I love basketball.
You love basketball?
Basketball and acting is my passion.
Uh-oh. What position you like to play in basketball?
Shooting guard. Point guard.
NBA dreams? Yeah. What's your favorite team?
Cavaliers. But
LeBron
I
fan?
don't know.
Is it
LeBron.
LeBron? Is it LeBron or
I don't know
Cavaliers?
because I don't necessarily think they're gonna win the finals because
Uh-oh.
of the fact that he's carrying the team by himself.
Uh-oh.
But there's a chance. But I don't know because I don't really have a favorite team. I like LeBron. I like the player LeBron. I like LeBron.
Okay, and what about this acting? Big acting dreams? Yeah, what are you doing now for acting? Are you doing any classes or anything? Yeah.
I used to do them with my aunt, with my mom's aunt.
He's been in theater since he was 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been in about 4 short films, 1 indie
cool.
full-length film. He kind of just can memorize anything.
It's a lot of
Since a
fun.
little bitty, and he enjoys it.
Oh yeah, and I'm a
You
poet
know.
too.
Uh-oh.
He did write a poem called Justice
Out for lunch.
Out for Lunch.
Oh, you got the video. You got the video.
We can't play a video. in the video.
But show people.
Yeah, he's been in theater for some time. So,
Mom, what's your biggest dream for him? What do you want most for him?
to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever you do, be happy doing it. You know, I want him to be successful at being happy and finding his purpose. Find your purpose. You're here for a reason. We all are. And once you know why you're here, fulfill that purpose. Whether it be theater, and he was able to meet Donald Glover
Oh,
and sit
cool.
with him, and he told him, you know, what doesn't feel right, say no. You know, every role won't match who you truly are. So some roles you're going to have to say no to. You know, and even with theater, I want him to understand when to say no. You know, I just want him to be happy. And I want
Here and looking at you all's relationship, I'm totally inspired. You don't see this much, you know, and what I see and how you're raising him, it's like you're raising him to say it's okay to just be who you are. What I do see a lot in our black communities is our mothers are raising our young boys say, get a job, be the man of the house, you know that, and then they have no room for imagination. And so I'm very inspired by this. You have a great mom over there. I think you know that.
You see, we were walking out the house, and I told her, I was like, Mom, people like us.
Ooh.
I was like, we don't even know them, but they know us.
Yeah.
And they like us. That's why I want to meet a bunch of people, because they like us.
Meet and greets coming soon, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Mom.
We're going to actually start our own
YouTube
web-
channel.
Yeah, called Mom and Son Moments, because I get a lot of DMs from mothers, single mothers, that are raising brown boys. And they ask me a lot of questions about why he's so into education, and why is he into certain things, and why does he like yoga, and why is he into meditation? How did you get him to be intrigued by those things? So we're going to start that Mother and Son Moments.
And I'm totally watching, and I'm going to be on some episodes.
And
This is one, right? This might be one.
Yeah.
no doubt. As the queen and the influencer that you are, what does Mama Soul legacy look like?
I want to open my own school. Eventually, that's my overall goal, is to open a school, a center for education, higher education, African Center School. I don't think I'll be in this country.
Right.
I don't want to retire here. I want to be near water and fresh fruit, vegetables, and people that don't wear shoes all day, every day. You know, and you can walk out near the water, near the elements, closer to nature, and away from so much concrete. And just really be able. I was influenced by those that influenced me. You know, I was really influenced by the teachers that taught me. When I taught at Timbuktu Academy as an African Center School, and the owner of the school, Mama Malkia, rest in peace, she lived in Ghana, and she had her home built, you know, right off the water. And she would come to the school, and when she came, oh man, you straightened up, right? Not that we were out of order. And then who was there with us all day was Mama Neb, who was an ex-Panther. You know, so I had strong women around me who taught me about developing foundation.
Right.
And that's what I really want to leave is a school, somewhere where our children can go and they're safe to learn about them.
I can see it happening. Mama Soul, is definitely been an honor, pleasure.
Man, thank you guys.
Amen.
This one is going in the books, y'all.
Amen.
The day before Malcolm X's birthday.
How about
Right?
that?
Yeah.
We want to thank you here. It's bigger than hip hop. Continued success. You guys check her out. Y'all heard that. My favorite joint is Exercise. Y'all might
That's
want
one
to
of my
check that.
favorites too.
Check it out. Check it out. It's bigger than hip hop. Shout out to my engineer, to everybody listening. We want to thank y'all guys. And make sure y'all check us out next week. I'm sure you know my guest next week, Nene Ali.
I don't.
You don't know Nene Ali?
No.
Check us out next week.
Okay.
You're going to be
All right.
really
All
impressed
right.
with this young lady. She also, too, is
I
a
know Moo
spoken
Fresh was here. That's
Watch.
my homie.
Watch what's going to
Yeah.
go down with
Okay,
Nene
that's
Ali.
what's up.
Spoken word artist. She's
Thanks.
doing her
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
young lady.
Okay.
Very powerful young lady doing her thing.
Lives here.
No, she's not here, but she'll be on the show next week.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Where is she?
Where is she located?
Based.
I want to say New York. I want to say
Okay,
she's in New York.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned. Until the next time, until next week, until ever, we gonna send it at y'all. It's bigger than hip hop. Peace.